How we doing, YouTube? Stevie here. It is October 31st. Happy Halloween to everybody. 5 days till election day. That's what this little video is going to be about. My dog there, wanting rubs. And I think the title, I don't know for sure what the title is, but I think I know what the title is going to be. Donald Trump will never become the 47th president. Now, why do I say that? For a couple reasons. Lots of reasons, actually. And I'm not saying it because that's what I want, because it's not what I want. I very much hope that I'm wrong. I hope he wins. I hope he wins by a lot, and I hope he wins early. Those are my hopes. But here's the reality that we live in. It is, according to the polls, it is a neck-and-neck race. So, the first thing you have to look at is, and as Chris Stirewalt said on a podcast I was listening to him on a little bit ago, and I've heard it's a couple other places too, we will know probably by 9:30 Eastern time how this thing's going to shake out. And why he said that was because we will know what the electorate's going to look like. Right now the models don't really know. And so it kind of comes down, if the electorate looks like it did in 2016 with these early vote, and by then they'll know who's voting and where in terms of city, rural, ethnic background. Those numbers will start to become clear. If it looks like 2016, then President Trump, all of those close leaning races across the 7 battlegrounds, and if you add a couple other states in there, all of a sudden start looking really good for him. If it looks like 2020, then it looks not as good for him. Still possible, but not as good. And a little bit better for her than 2016. If it looks like 2022, he can go to bed early, because this thing will be over. He said, but 9:30 we'll know. We'll know what this thing's going to look like, and because all those late breakers are going to go the same way. Generally, they do. And basically, what's going to happen is and we'll know this by pretty early, is you'll know exactly how much the college-educated suburban vote turned out and what percentage. You're going to know partially what the African-American vote does, but you're going to more importantly know how many African-American men showed up to vote. And then you'll also know in terms of the Spanish Latino vote. I don't know, I always never liked that word. I'd call it Latino. I'd like call them where they come from, but I don't even know where they come from. Or nationality-wise, they come from here. They're born here, 99% of them, folks. But anyway, you know what I'm saying. And you'll know what their turnout's going to be. And this thing will trail one way or the other. And we'll know that pretty early, probably. The likelihood of this one going well into 2 or 3 days, probably not going to happen. Could, it could, but I don't. It's less likely than likely. Another reason why is, in terms of Georgia, President Trump has not won Georgia since he won it the first time. He didn't win it the second time. None of his Senate candidates have won there. And the suburban vote around Atlanta, a lot of African-American folks, a lot of African-American women who are going to vote in massive numbers, and they ain't voting for him, most of them. Georgia's going to be tough. North Carolina, not quite so much, but you never can tell. And then you start looking at the Rust Belt states and things like that, and Can he hold Pitts? Can the red counties in Pennsylvania make up for Pittsburgh and the suburbs of Philly? I mean, I don't know. I just don't know. And so just from an honesty standpoint, and the other thing is, he's never actually, I've said this before, he's never actually won. I've said this a million times. He didn't beat Hillary. Jill Stein beat Hillary. If Jill Stein wasn't in the race, Hillary would have been ending her second term in 2 months. Now, Jill Stein is in the race again, but this time the Harris campaign is targeting her. So will she peel off as many votes, her Cornel West? Hard to say. But this is the main reason why President Trump will never become the 47th president. The Democrats are going to win the House. And I know that because not one conservative, I listen to a lot of conservative radio and podcasts and news and things like that. I have not heard them across all of the platforms, every single one I listen to, which is a lot. I have not heard them mention the House one time in months. 2 months for sure. If they do mention it, it's in passing, and they never talk about it as in terms of Republicans winning it. So the likelihood of them winning the House is nil, not much. Because the way they won the House the last time came from California and New York state seats. And they're going to vote like crazy this presidential cycle for the Democrats. So they're going to vote for their House seats as well. So those seats that we was able to peel off in 2022 were not going to be peelable in this cycle. And there's just not enough eligible seats in other places because all the districts are gerrymandered. So you, like in where I have to vote for, I don't think much of my representative at all. He's a Republican, but I don't think much of him at all. But when you have a registration 65 to 70% Republican over Democrat in the district, it's pretty tough for anybody else to get around that, regardless of what the district is. I'm just saying that's what it is in this district. So long story short, the House is tough to flip. But this is the other main reason. I'll try to squeeze this in. So the Democrats are going to win the House, most likely. They are going to do the exact thing that they railed against for the last 4 years, that they said Donald Trump was trying to do. They're going to do. And they will not certify this election. If the Democrats win the House, you can guarantee, as I'm standing here right now, they will not certify that election, and they will burn this country to the ground before they let Donald Trump win it. Which, all the things they said about him, I think, has been leading up to that, for them to be able to justify not certifying the election. Now, when they do that, depending on exactly how all the House seats flop, the House votes by state for the next president. They can legally, they think, they can just uncertify his votes because they're going to say he's an insurrectionist, and they don't really have to prove that he's an insurrectionist. They just have to say it, and they'll have enough votes, and that's what they're going to do. And they don't care how we scream and yell, because they would rather burn the country down than have him as president. And abort unborn babies. That's their two most important issues. Not him, and abort unborn babies. So, if the Republicans have more than 25 states, a majority of House seats in more than 25 states, then they will vote for J.D. Vance, probably. And then the Senate, which will be controlled by Republicans probably, will vote for the vice president. I think in the same manner, but it might just be an up and down vote in the Senate. Don't hold me to that part, but I don't know. Long story short, it's going to be a very bad next couple, 3 months. And the Democrats don't care. Like I said, all they care about is not Trump and make sure we can do something to kill the unborn. Anyway, we're almost out of time. God bless everybody. We'll talk again soon. I'll try to get a few more videos and political talk between now and then. But everybody have a happy Halloween. God bless.